Hi, I'm Tristan. I'm 10 years old, and I'm a superfan. Superfan! Superfan! Of Jeff Kinney. Well, Jeff Kinney is a world-famous author of the cartoon series Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I really love his books. The first book that I ever read was by Jeff Kinney. It's called The Third Wheel. It's a really great book. Before I read that, I was pretending to read. What I love about Jeff Kinney's books is it's really funny. It reflects on just a normal school life, but it makes it into sort of really, really funny. When I found out that I was gonna meet Jeff Kinney, I was like, it's not every day you get to meet a world-famous author. I would like to ask him what inspired him to become an author. Maybe I could think along the lines of what inspired him and inspire myself, and maybe, don't know, maybe I'll become an author. I've created a character yesterday that's called Mr. W, and I really hope Jeff Kinney helps me out with him, and maybe he can become a real character in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Feeling nervous, but I'll probably just wing it and just go with the flow. I'm ready.
Hey, Tristan. Very nice to meet you. I heard you're a fan of my books.
Yeah.
Right? You want to talk?
Okay.
You have a list of questions. You have a journal. I'm very interested in what's going on. And 2 of my books. Thank you very much. All right.
Can I ask you some questions?
Absolutely, yes.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I'd say about 6'1", right? I wanted to be a newspaper cartoonist. That's what I wanted to do. Every morning I read the newspaper, I read comics. I love those things, and that's what I wanted to do.
When I get newspaper, the only thing that I read is only if they have comics, otherwise I just fake read.
You fake read?
Yeah, and I'm good at it.
Right.
I'm good at it.
Because your mom
practice.
Your mom is like, you have to read for 20 minutes, and so you're just like pretending to read the whole time? Okay, you're like Greg Heffley then. Okay.
What inspires you to write your books?
I wanted to make people laugh. You know, I thought I was pretty good at writing jokes, and when you're a joke writer, you need an audience. You know, you need to be funny for somebody.
How does writing make you feel?
Writing makes me feel tired and stressed out because it's hard for me. For some people, it's really easy, but for me, it's hard.
How do you get over writer's block?
I always have writer's block. I've been trying to do things in a different way recently. I try to write about things that happen to ordinary people, like something that might have happened to you today or happened to me today, and then I try to put a funny twist on it, and then I turn it into Wimpy Kid writing.
If you had to choose between being a really good writer or a really good cartoonist, what would it be?
I think I'd choose cartoonists, but I think cartoonists can be good writers. They just use very few words. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to read a cartoon that has tons of text in the bubble, right? You want to read about with just a few words. So that's what I always try to do. I try to use as few words as possible.
Are any of your characters based on real people?
Yeah, a lot of my characters in the Heffley family are based on members of my own family, but everything's sort of been put into the fiction blender. And so they started off as real people, and then they became these kind of cartoon characters.
Who is the Wimpy Kid?
Who do you think the Wimpy Kid is?
The Wimpy Kid. You.
Yes, right. I am really Greg Heffley, you know, grown up now. I was a lot like Greg Heffley when I was a kid. I did a lot of embarrassing things I'm ashamed of now. Like, you remember in the second book when Greg hides out in the locker room from his swim team coach, and he's cold in the locker room?
Oh, and then he uses the toilet paper?
Yes, he uses toilet paper to stay warm. I actually did that in real life.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't enjoy reading until I found your books. Did you like to read when you were my age?
I did like to read. I read books like The Hobbit. Did you read that one? Or
yes,
you've heard of that?
Read it.
Yeah. And I read lots of books, like fantasy books. I read funny books, but I loved comic books.
What was your favorite book to write and why?
My favorite book to write was probably, I'd say the first one, because there was no pressure. It took me a long time. It took me 8 years to write that first book. Now I have to write a book really fast, so there's a lot of pressure on me.
If you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would it be?
Not to give up, because you'll get rejected a lot, but then maybe one day you'll break through.
Does the drawing come first or the writing?
The jokes come first for me. I come up with all the jokes, and then once I have 350 jokes.
What?
350, that's when I know it's time for me to actually start writing.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, yeah.
Do you have any advice for kids like me who want to become an author?
Yeah, if you want to become an author, the best possible thing you can do is read a lot. And I know it sounds like homework in a way, but you really can't become a good writer unless you're a great reader. I was curious to know, have you ever thought of writing a book, or have you ever come up with a character of your own?
Well, I came up with for a character for one of your books.
Really?
That's just a bit that I drew.
Wow. Tell me what this is right here. What's the story behind him?
So it's basically a fiction character, sort of based on me, except he's in high school and he's trying to break out of his house.
You were telling me that you had an idea for a Wimpy Kid character,
Yeah.
a character you'd like to see in a Wimpy Kid book. So why don't you describe that character to me, and I'm gonna do my best to illustrate what I hear you saying. Does that sound good? A man.
It's a new maths teacher.
A new math teacher, okay.
Like, sort of motorcycle guy tough, except in like a suit.
Okay, got it. So he'd have sort of a square jaw, maybe, like kind of a really tough look like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, got it.
And he has really spiky black hair.
Okay. Like almost like a punk rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
He has a walrus mustache.
Yeah,
or
walrus
something.
mustache. Okay,
And then
got it.
it also has a bottom bit mustache as well.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And then he's really big, except he's wearing like what maths teachers wear.
Okay, what?
But he wears a collared shirt that goes only up to his elbows, like the.
Only up to his elbows. Okay. Is he a strong guy, like muscular?
Yeah.
I see. But and how did he become a math teacher?
He didn't really get paid anything being in a motorcycle gang.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've heard the pay is really low with those motorcycle gangs.
Wait, he probably has like a bandana, except not covering his hair. You know how karate people put that thing on their forehead?
I do know.
Yeah, like that, sort of.
Yeah, those karate people. Yes. All right, good. One black boot, one white. What do you think? Too weird?
Not really.
Is this at all what you imagined?
Basically.
Basically? Okay, good. I'm on the right track. All right, I'm gonna fill in this one. All right, and what is your teacher's name?
Mr. W.
Mr. W?
But his full name is Mr. Walsh.
Walsh. You've got this all figured out. Mr. Walsh.
I named him after a coaching teacher that's really funny.
Oh, yeah? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm signing this for you. This creation sprung from your mind and my pen. It's a good one, don't you think?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Here you go.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ed.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Jeff Kinney was really funny, and he gave really good advice to me and any other person who was watching. My favorite piece of advice was not giving up, and you will get rejected a lot, but eventually you'll break through.
Thank you very much.
Interviewing Jeff Kinney was amazing. I was really, really nervous, and it was a dream come true, something that I will always remember. Before I met Jeff Kinney, I was a super fan of his books, but then I met him, and now I'm a super fan.